Martin, I suppose just we'll start wrapping up, but your assessment of that. I said to Neil when the chips were down, Castlebar Mitchells, they just looked composed once they had kind of drawn back level and they knew what they had to do then.
Well, I think they're a little bit more experienced than Knockmore. Knockmore have an awful lot of young players, and I think once Castlebar found the rhythm in the second half and got their big players into the game, I think they really came to the fore. Like Danny Kirby in particular, I thought was outstanding in the second half. The ball went through to Neil a lot more in the second half than it had done in the first half, actually, when they had the wind. And when you look at it, between the 6th and the 20th minute, they outscored, I think, Knockmore by a goal and 6 points to a point or two. And just during that period, I think Castlebar players were anxious for the ball. The couple of occasions when Knockmore got the ball forward, in particular when the likes of Thomas Clark got forward, and when, say, towards the end, Kieran King got forward, there wasn't a single Knockmore player up in support. They were playing in ones. They weren't playing in clusters as they had been earlier. And I just think they ran out of legs a little bit, and Castlebar's experience came to the fore.
John, we were talking about perhaps penalties that should have been or could have been in the last game, and the goal that the Mitchells got here. I mean, look, it was great vision to follow up on it, but Knockmore will have a few nightmares about that.
They will. It was rather fortuitous from my angle, and but Dougie was in the right place at the right time, and that energised Castlebar Mitchell. No question about it. There were 5 down early on the second half, and I have to say, I didn't give them a chance. I thought they were gone. As I said here at half time, they looked wearisome. But that's the experience that Martin has just alluded to, and he mentioned just the likes of Danny Kirby. But around the park, I thought Ray O'Malley had a super game, and it's that that character and the experience just stood to the fore. And we mentioned before the game that if there was anything about this Knockmore team, I think Ray Dempsey, the manager, said to Martin yesterday it was probably a year too soon for them. But I tell you what, I was very, very impressed with them, particularly in the first half. Now, Castlebar Mitchell would be disappointed with their fare in the first half, but that's the way they've been all year. It's kind of fits and starts. They have been very, very impressive. I've seen them, as I say, 3 or 4 times. There's no fluency in their play. And they just don't seem to have a real pattern or structure. I don't know what way they want to play. And I said it here at half time, they have one of the best ball-winning young fellas in Gavin Durkin. And, of course, they have to play Neil Douglas in at 14 as well. But Gavin Durkin, for me, if we played him at 14, Mitchell played him at 14, they might have a chance to win a county championship. But right now, I don't think that performance will be good enough from Castlebar Mitchell to get over what I saw last night, a Ballina team that are playing with great flair and real, character and what have you. So a testing day for Castlebar Mitchells, but they prevailed and they've got through.
Absolutely, and they're there, and look, you can't do anything unless you're there. So Martin, we know our semi-final lineup. We'll talk to Paul Canan in just a moment about the semi-finals and the fixtures in a couple of weeks' time. But we have Ballahadreen and Castlebar Mitchells, Ballina and Ballintubber. There's 2 cracking games in store.
2 cracking games, and Ballahadreen last night will get a lot of confidence from the way they dispose of Davits. Now, in fairness, Davits wouldn't have been up to the level maybe of a lot of the other teams here over the weekend, but at the same time, Ballahadreen last night in Andy Moore, they had a match winner. He was superb, I thought, last night. In David Drake, a cornerback, outstanding as well. And just throughout the field there was an urgency and there was an intensity in the way they played that actually, if they can replicate it, will cause Castlebar Mitchells problems. Castlebar Mitchells will not be happy about today. That kind of irregular pattern that we saw today in the way they played has been a feature of the game all year, and Declan Shaw and his management team will have to try and get a little bit more consistency into the game. The other semi-final will be an absolute cracker between Ballina and Ballintubber. I mean, from what we saw last night at Ballina, they're up for it again.
They're the form team. Of all the teams I've witnessed this weekend, Ballina to me have a real spark about them, and they were playing with great cohesion and great character, something that I personally wouldn't associate with Ballina down through the years. But I tell you what, they were right up for it there last night, and I have to say, and Kieran Tracy, he put on a cameo there for about 5 minutes in the second half. He laid on a great goal, kicked 2 or 3 top class points. But I was hugely impressed with O'Hora, who did a great job on Aidan O'Shea, and the 2 cornerbacks, Mullins and Hunt. Ballina Stevenage to me are the form team right now, and if you're going to have a punt on anyone to win a county championship, it says Ballina.
Yeah, and when you look at it from this respect, like, forwards win titles for you. And last night Ballina had 6 forwards, not 1, not 2. They had 6 forwards who played with great cohesion. great cohesion, worked very hard for one another, and all seemed to understand the way they wanted to play. And I just thought of all the forward lines I saw over the weekend, they were the best.
And unlike Castlebar and Mitchell's, every single one of the forwards was a score threat. Like, I mean, you look at Castlebar and Mitchell's half forward line today, the team that started, I think they scored 1 point from play, and they're not a threat. And that's as I say, where the ace is with Ballina Steve Nice. They have a threat right in the half forward line, right around the park. I thought they were very, very impressive. But getting back to Castlebar and Mitchell's, they prevailed there, but as you said, Martin, they won't be happy.